You gotta watch this. Welcome to Christmas Central, everybody. It's that time of year again, my very favorite time to decorate. It is December 1st, and I'm going to start decorating my house. And as many of you know me, it's a overdone or nothing. Me, sorry, I love Christmas and I love to decorate for Christmas. So what we're gonna do is put my tree right here. We'll be doing my coffee table, the mantle. I don't know if I'm gonna get to my big windows up here, nor do I know what I wanna do with them yet. I've got a huge cabinet back here. We do the foyer, we do the powder room. Do my railings all the way up. The dining room, the living room, the foyer, and the front porch. So this usually takes me a good week to do. I'll be right back. A lot of you don't believe me when I say that I have a lot of Christmas stuff. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you. I'm gonna just give you a quick peek. You can see a little bit of my foyer there. This is my living room. And I'm gonna show you my dining room. So we'll be setting the table. Up above the cabinet, I'll do. And here is another part of my foyer. And if we come around the corner here, these two tables will get a little bit dressed up. Let me go grab some fun stuff. I'll be right back. So I brought up a picture that I want to put up above the mantle. I keep calling it a mantle. That I want to put, to show you. I did take my other one down. And then what I have here are all my candlesticks. Oh, I've left the books up there that I use to raise and give height to different things that are on the bookshelf. So we're gonna wing it and see what we can come up with here. I do like to cover up a lot of books and things like that that are up here, but these are old and I really like the way they look. These I'm gonna try and probably cover up. So I'm going to try and get a few of my candlesticks up there. We might not use most of them this year. And we might use this picture anyway. I'm gonna throw it back up there and see. So these are just pieces that I have bought over the years. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, wherever. So what I think I'm gonna do is use my little open terrarium here. It just looks really super cute. Little candles, something like that. So I think we're gonna do that. It looks like I'm gonna be covering up the word peace up here, but I like all the other, the bell and the poinsettia and everything else in here. So I think that's fine. These as well are all from Hobby Lobby. I love these because they can give such beautiful interest to what's going on. See, I'm just kind of layering things. put up some candles and see what it looks like. These are all on timers. These are Luminaire brand. Okay. And then what I might do is just a couple of little ones in here. And I will get some more greenery to put in here. Kind of move things around to arrange where it looks good. I like it. So now we'll add a few more things. I've got some Dollar Tree red Christmas ornaments that I may get poked in here. What I like to do is gather some of the branch pieces and kind of lock them in there with it. So that they don't go anywhere. Like that. So here's the final, and what I did was add a couple of these little picks here. These are a couple years old, and I believe these were all from the Dollar Tree. Just cute little filler just to throw in there and give a little bit more interest or color. So I added a few here and there. Really pleased. I think it turned out great. So let's move on to the next project. So we're going to move to the dining room. I'm going to strip down the dining room table, put out the holiday dishes, then we'll go ahead and get above the china cabinet. So here's my dining room table. I've already taken out my 4 candle holders, and I wanted to clean them because I do want to redo the centerpiece here. Here is the first little disaster. I decided to soak these to get the remnants of the candles out, and look what happened. It took the whole mercury glass apart. It's literally coming off. I made this a long time ago and I absolutely love it. And what I usually do is just change it out a little bit for the holidays. So I'm going to use charger plates. And these really are pretty much just a decorative plate that is put behind your dinner plate. They're larger than the dinner plate and they just kind of help show off your place setting. And let's grab some plates. So this is what they look like, and they are lent. So I'm going to put a salad bowl on top of each plate because I like to build up my place settings. So I'm going to grab my napkin holders, my napkin rings. So I'm just going to fold my napkin is already folded in a square, and it gives me a nice a look as it is. So I'm just going to fold it. And I'm going to place it up like this, see that? Okay, the table runner's on. So what I want to do is add my candles. Like so. And they don't need to be lined up. And then I'm going to put my deer on. And these I've had a very long time as well. Here's a couple of ideas. These are pine cones that I bought at Ace Hardware, a little hardware store in Aurora that used to carry, oh, just the most amazing things. They had a Christmas department that was beyond amazing. So here's what my table looks like now. I do need to finish out the rest of the room, but for now the table is set and it makes me feel as though I've got something done for the day. This is the next project. We're gonna do a little bit above the china cabinet, not much, just a few little things. So I've gathered some different greens here and I'll just decide which ones I want to put in. But the first thing I want to do is get up and grab the greenery and take that down. And I'm going to take this down and put ornaments in it. And I probably need to put a new battery in here. And I'm going to put the ornaments in there. All right, we're done with this. Off camera, I did a couple little things here. I switched out the lamp that was here because it was interfering with being able to see the pretty picture. So what I do like now is kind of the uplight to this actually kind of glows onto the picture. So it's really cute. I do have a little Christmas tree here with some little fairy lights in it, and they are on battery operated, and of course they have a timer. I needed to lift this just a little bit, so it's on a couple of books, and then grabbed one of my little snowmen here and just put a couple of little pieces of greenery around it. All right, we're gonna do this area now, and this is right next to my coat closet. And we tend to keep our keys here, coats, boots, that kind of thing. So what I want to do is hang this picture up on top of this shutter. I have flexible wire and I just cut it. You can buy it on a roll at Home Depot or whatever. And I'm just going to make a little hook. All right, so I've formed my hook. And it doesn't need to be very big. I just need to make sure it can go over the shutter, and then it does have a center hook on it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on and see if that works for us. So because we put our keys and everything on here, what I'm gonna do is use this little box. I do want some decoration on here, but yet I still want to be able to make sure it's practical for what we need. I grabbed a couple of little pieces of greenery and just kind of stuck them in together. And I'm going to pop them in here. And I'm going to stick this little snowman right down inside here. And there we go. Instant decoration, and the family can still put all their keys in here as they come into the house. I just did a quick little switcheroo on this wall hanging. This is something that I made earlier this year. It is a corrugated type of a box with chicken wire on the front of it, about so high. And I had a bird's nest in here and flowers or whatever, and I do try to change that out during the season. I just pulled out my sunflowers. So I decided I wanted to do something Christmas in here, so I just stuck in one of the little elves. I think Hallmark made them years ago, and then put in a couple more of these little Dollar Tree pieces. And then I took a couple of Christmas ornaments and put hooks on them and was able to hook them onto other things that are in there or to the chicken wire. So you can easily update what you have on the wall without having to take everything off. So I think that turned out really cute. The next thing I'm going to tackle is this, and I think I'm going to fill that with some little ornaments, so I just need to grab those. So I've got my little ornaments, and these came in packages from Hobby Lobby a long time ago. I'm sure they still have things similar, but I never use them on a tree. I always have them in something. Found a little candle ring, and Works really nice, just as if it were a small wreath. So I'm just gonna leave that there. Make sure I get some gold up front here. And then these, I believe, are hot glued in. So I'm just gonna leave those and just kind of move them back a little bit. Well, looky that. He sits there just perfectly. The next thing we're going to tackle is the kitchen curio. This is something that I created a couple of years ago, and there is a YouTube video on it. So I've separated the snowmen. I didn't put anything on the third shelf, but I do have a bunch of the really pretty candle holders up there, and I think that's really kind of pretty. And then down here I have the set of 3. And there we have it. I'm gonna do this little area here. I've got a couple of really little cute things that I like to display. I got this at a craft show many, many years ago. Little tea-dyed little snowman on it. He's just adorable. So I always like to have him up here somewhere. And I don't know if these will fit anywhere. These, I believe, are from Hobby Lobby, and I found these a couple of years ago. Just sweet. Look at this sweet little thing. Let's do the kitchen table. We don't generally use this table anymore. It's just my husband and I, so we sit at the island and eat at night or in front of the television. So this is always set pretty. I just kind of like a pretty table. So right now it has all of my fall decoration, or some of it. I've taken a couple things off. I think I'm gonna see what this looks like. Got a really cute buffalo check. I know what I'm gonna do with these. And here are my new dishes. I bought these last year. The funny story is I purchased them online, and when they came, no one bothered to wrap them. They were actually not bubble wrapped or anything like that. They were in the box, wrapped, if you want to call it that, in a couple of pieces of paper. I had smashed dishes. Whoever delivered them could have easily told that they were broken. These are a really cute snowman. Or these are a really cute snowflake. No, these are actually ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and they carry them this year, but I believe I bought them last year. All right, so now we have our place settings, and I am going to use him. He is absolutely adorable. I bought him at Home Goods, geez, probably 10 years ago. I have a very good sized powder room on my first floor, and it is large enough to actually have this beautiful cabinet in here. Now, this was a gift that I received from my husband and from my sister when I opened up my store a few years ago. It was always in my office, so no one got a chance to see it. But it fits perfectly in this. We're gonna get this set for Christmas. And then I've got a few little spaces up here on the wall, and I do have a little shelf, and I'll do a couple little things there. So let me gather my stuff and we'll get going. I do like options, so I did bring a bunch of things. Okay, one more little piece in there and we should be good to go. This just takes up the space, leaving the greenery piece in here, the little fern. It just helps give it a background. So we could place these pieces right on top of it. Make sure that's gonna close. Okay, and that's pretty good. As many of you know, I have a snowman collection. I'm trying to weed it down. So I'm going to just put in a few of these little things in here. Hang on, I gotta take this sweatshirt off. Got a really cute Christmas tree sign that I bought at Michael's last year after season. So I believe it was probably a good 75% off. I have some pretty hand soap. This is from Ross, $4.99. I mean, look at the size of that. And I love my little crystal trees. I do have the sweetest picture that I just found at Hobby Lobby. So I'm gonna hang him up here. And then I do use little tea towels sitting on my sink because for some reason people think they can't use these towels, which is ridiculous. All right, we're set. I'm gonna show you what this looks like now. So welcome to my powder room when it's all decorated for Christmas. And I'll open this, it'll be easier than the glare on the window. And my candles are all on timers, so they will come on probably in a couple of hours. And those will help glow on the Christmas tree up here in the corner. Just bought him at Hobby Lobby the other day. These linens here are older towels, but I believe they were originally from Kohl's. This is the piece from Michael's last year. And I've got my little tea towel out and my hand soap. And then I just did a little bit up here too. Now these candles also are on timer, so they will be coming on in the evening. I'm gonna do a quick redo on my centerpiece that's usually on my dining room table. We're not gonna use it up there. I do like what we had done earlier, but I'm gonna put this underneath the hall table that I have facing my foyer. But it needs a little bit of work. So instead of dismantling the whole thing, I'm going to just add in a few pieces here and there, and we're just gonna spread some things apart. That's about center. I'm gonna take a couple of my greenery pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna spread him out, make him look nice. And I have another one I'm gonna put over here on this end. already looks Christmassy. I am going to cut them in half. Oops. And then I am going to take pipe cleaners and I'm going to make a small loop. These probably aren't that big. Small loop like this. I'm going to wrap it. Did not bring my, I'm just gonna have to go with this. Puff it up, and we're just gonna stick it in here wherever it'll go. And that's giving us a little bit of ribbon. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, too long. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna make a long one because I wanna tuck this in on one of the edges here and have this ribbon kind of flow out. Very simple to do. You're just dovetailing one end. You're creating a loop and you're just gonna kind of fan it out. And I'm going to just stick him right down in there. There we go. Cover him up with a few other things. I'm going to do the same on the other end. Now what I wanted to do was throw in a couple of ornaments to give it a little bit of color, especially a couple of the green ones. All right, check this out. I'm going to go and slide it up underneath the table over there. So here it is, sitting underneath the entry table in my foyer. And I just think it makes a very nice, welcoming look when you walk in the house. So this is the centerpiece on my coffee table. I have a big copper tray that my 3 candle holders sit in, and I decided to just kind of decorate the whole thing. Pardon the mess behind them. I have got ornaments and beads on the underneath of the platform that holds the candle. And then where the candle is, I have sugared pine cones. And between the candle holders, I have some greenery and another pick with a big pine cone in it, and these really beautiful ribbons. The candles are the Luminaire brand, and they are all on timers, which is really nice. And I absolutely love the way these candles have the moving flame. And here you can kind of see the copper tray. This was bought at Home Goods a couple of months ago when I was on a girls' trip with my sisters and my nieces and my daughter.
I have got a humongous mess in this room. I've just checked the lights on all of them, but particularly this first piece right here, because this is the one we're gonna work on, and I'll show you that before I end up doing the time lapse. So what I need to do now is double up my garland, get it attached and fluffed up. This happens to be a really long garland, so I have enough to double everything, so I think I'm gonna do that, and I think it'll give it a nice fuller look. But I want to show you some of the things that I do put on. First, to attach my garland, I use these garland ties. I've had these for a very long time, but sometimes they're not long enough to go around the actual rail. So I did pick up some of these. I want to say these were like at home, or I'm not even quite sure. They may have even been from, some of them may be from Hobby Lobby. Those come in really handy because they match the garland. I've got bows made here that I just put into my boxes. These did not get put away very nicely, but being on zip ties, I can just kind of shove them right into the garland. And I have plenty more ribbon to make. I really think these were on my tree last year, but I can't remember. This year I decided to add some ornaments. So the other night I sat down and I just bundled up a few of them. I just used pipe cleaners and put on 2 different ornaments and just wired them together. When I ran out of doubles, I went ahead and just put a little snowflake on here. So once that's down in and tucked in, that snowflake will stand up, which I think will be pretty cool. On the ends of my garland at the bottom of the rails, I generally will put these really nice big picks along with longer bows. I have got pine cones. You've seen these before. These are on, some of these are on my dining room table. Those I think belong in my tree. I picked up last year on clearance some cute stars and some more of this really nice pick here. And I have a few stars. Here are my green velvet bows. I have got some beautiful burgundy colored poinsettias. We have got a couple of strands of big berry garland and some really pretty leaves. I have almost all of this had this all for years, and some of it's kind of been on its better days, but they look so pretty when they're in the garland. And then here's a couple of strands of like a little woodland garland, and it has got berries and pine in it and pine cones. Let me see if I'm missing anything. If need be, I do have more extra stuff downstairs, but this might be pretty good. So let me get this railing set here and then we'll get started. So what I've done is double up my garland. What I'm gonna do is just attach it and figure out how I wanna run that down here. I'm gonna use some of the garland type twist ties on here.
spend the time to fluff everything up, so you don't even need to watch this. I've got everything fluffed now, and I did go ahead and turn on the lights so I can kind of see where things are sitting. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of spread the garland apart, and I'm gonna insert my pretty little woodland garland with the berries and the pine cones on it. And then I can twist those in there and we'll keep building from there. Yep, just about perfect. Twisting that one around, and now I'm just gonna start attaching it same way I did the other parts of the garland. All nice and secure, and we can continue to add more stuff. I've gathered some of the supplies now, and what I have to do is kind of divvy these things up that I showed you earlier because they have to go on all the railings. So the first thing I have are these pretty leaves. I'm going to take a couple of these and I'm going to layer them in. And all I'm going to do is push them down into the garland. Once again, kind of wrap things around. I'll just kind of move my leaves around a little bit here. And there you go. I think I'm going to move the camera up so you get a better view. Okay, I hope that's better. I'm going to take and wrap one of these pieces together, and there we go. So I'm going to grab like one more little piece here. Got just a little tiny one, and I think maybe I'll put that right here in the middle. This is the part I'm not worried about right now. Because I'm going to have the big sprays on there and then bows, it'll be doing its own thing. So I'll be doing the same thing on these railings up here, but for now, let's go ahead and finish this. What we're going to add is a couple of these little pieces. These were bought last year at the end of the season, I believe. And of course there weren't that many left, but that's okay. So what I think I'm going to do is just get them stuck in there, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. And I've got one stray little guy here, so I think I'm going to just stick him right in there. And then up here, if you can see these, got a couple more things. I'm gonna put in my velvet poinsettias. Oh, these are just gorgeous. These are probably Hobby Lobby. And probably Diane as well. Now just to start with, just a couple of bows. And all I'm doing is using the loops and a zip tie. Just cut off probably about 20 inches or so of ribbon, 2 different ones, and then zip tied them together, dovetailed the bottoms, and then now we're just somewhere. What we think. I'm gonna go ahead and add one piece down here. I'm going to take and push him up. I think it turned out beautiful. I know I'm not done yet, but at least this will give you an idea of what the railings normally look like. Maybe I'll go ahead and do this end for you because everything else is going to actually be time lapse, so you might not really be able to get a feel for what it is I do on the ends. So let's move the camera. So here's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to take my little spray and I'm going to bend it. And I'm going to sit him right on top here, and then I'll just kind of wire him in with some of the other goodies up here. And then I'll fluff up all of this. And then these are bows that I've had for the last couple of years now. Just kind of fluffed one of them up. It's never the same each year. It's always something different. That's what makes it so fun. All right, so I'm just gonna take a couple of these here that we had strung together and add them in randomly here. That's what I love about using pipe cleaners. Easy peasy. So here we are, completely finished. I put the ornaments in a few different places. I found that I had forgotten to put in my green bows. I went ahead and finished down to the edge here. I think it turned out beautiful. Along with the bow, I added a couple of pieces of ribbon underneath and then created little loops and just tied them in to fill up the space. I found my green bows sitting over on the floor that I forgot to use. So those went in. And then the ornaments. And everything is just tucked in there, all looking festive. And I am very pleased. I can't wait to see what this looks like at night. Now, I've only got all those to do too. Oh Lord, plus the one on the front of the catwalk. I've been working on this railing going all the way up and then across. And I've got a single layer of garland on right now, and I just kind of got it strapped down, and I'm trying to just fold it out so I can lay the second garland in it. So I'm gonna start the time lapse because you don't want to watch me do all of this slowly for sure. So let me get this going and we'll get moving. Do a little bit of decorating on the front porch for Christmas. We're gonna do these pots here, nothing fancy. I'm just gonna put some lights in there
and some greenery, and then we will finish this. I want to get this done kind of quickly. I've been just told that there's some bad weather that's on its way, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I want to check my lights. All right, we are good to go. Now, I'm gonna make this very simple. And I pulled out the mums that were in here from the fall. And what I'm gonna do is just literally take my garland and I'm going to wrap it around inside the boxes, making sure that my cords for connection are where I need them. All I'm using this for is fill. And put them in. I'm going to divide them up a little bit here so I know how many I've got for each. Now what I want to do is put these in the back where they're tall. And these are all old. I believe I ended up buying this stuff from At Home last year. So it's been at least a year since I've had this, so I'm not quite sure what I paid for it. And I can get these things readjusted as we go. There we go. See how this is starting to fill up and look nice? And I have a few of these. I think these are Hobby Lobby from a while ago. They've been in my house for a very long time, and they have snow on them, so I'm just going to leave those alone. Just some greens that I picked up. I needed to do a basket for someone a while ago. Two more little pieces here. Give me a little bit of white in here. This is not cooperating. I picked these up on Amazon. And we can set a timer on these. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. Tie all this up, and I will probably get a Ziploc bag in order to put all this in. All right, so for right now, I'm just going to leave it. This is mesh tubing. similar to the mesh that we've been using on our Christmas trees lately, except for it comes in a tube. It's so easy to use. I'm gonna make bows and I'm gonna just gather. Okay. So we're at the bottom. I'm gonna just take that tail and I'm gonna wrap it around it. That wind is starting to pick up. We'll have to get going pretty quick. All right, wrap it, wrap it, wrap it. Tie a big knot in it. I do have a video on the lanterns that I did the other day, so you'll have to watch that. There are 3 of them up here on the porch. I've got 2 over by my front door. And then now we're gonna place the sleigh. And I do have some stakes for him so that he doesn't go flying in the wind. And he does light up, so I'm gonna go ahead and get him staked in. So here we have the finished project. Got everything swept, got my rugs all cleaned up. I made that yesterday. A little sign hanging. And then over here, I have a bench I got from a friend of mine last year. Looks like a sleigh. This little snowman that I've had for a very long time. I thought maybe I'd bring him out this year. And what I did was I tied him directly to the seat, so he's not going anywhere. And then down here I have my little sleigh. To make a change to my boxes, I decided this year that if I was going to have my little snowmen out, I may as well put them in the boxes. So I made a little hole kind of in the middle and I stuffed my little snowmen in there. And I think it looks so much better. So I've got all my lights hooked up, everything is working, and I will put these on a timer in a little bit. These snowmen came from Menards a few years ago, and I'm not sure whether they have any more or not, but they are really, really cute. And this just turned out to be a great idea to put them into the boxes this year. So, I hope you liked this video, and Merry Christmas, everyone. My little sleigh is lit up. And here is the front porch. And my sled. Gotta have the buffalo check these days. And this is a wreath I made the other day after tearing another one apart that I was actually just gonna fix, and it was so deteriorated it just fell apart. So I used a lot of its components and I made this one. I did change my mind on my wreath for my front door the other day. And so what I did was took a snowman wreath that I had made a long time ago and just stuck in one of my snowmen from my collection. And all I did was wire him. So I thought this fit my little snowman theme a little bit better. I'm real happy with it. And there it is. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a very great new year and be safe and healthy. Zip tie it, pull your loop up.